Hello there, welcome to my channel. This is Balsamic Moon Tarot, and I have a channeled message for you. So, I'm going to get right into it. Take whatever resonates, leave behind the rest for the person that it's meant for. This message is for somebody who has left behind a situation because it was unfulfilling, and you did that because you wanted to have more independence and stability in your life, more material stability, more financial stability, maybe even more stability in terms of health. You wanted a lifestyle that was more rewarding and fulfilling and really, fulfilled your needs as well as your desires for some balance and even like comfort and a certain amount of luxury. Okay, hope that makes sense. But what I'm seeing here is that in leaving the situation behind and going after what I think it was the best decision. I think you left for the right reasons, but you're experiencing right now a bit of self-doubt, and the reason why is because even though you made the best decision for yourself, it was a lot of change at once to handle. And the new chapter in your life, this new phase in your life, it's taken on more form, and sometimes it's kind of disconcerting to you. So for example, if you move to a different city, or if you moved location, and maybe you moved from like the countryside to the city, or the city to the countryside, like the change is now sinking in, and you're really starting to absorb the gravity of what such a big change that you made. But I don't think that you should second guess your decision. I think you just need to give yourself compassion and patience and kindness, because when we do something, when we do a major shift like that, and we do it because we know it's for the best, it's not like every day will be amazing. We're gonna have ups and downs. It's gonna be two steps forward, one step back. It's not going to be just a steady progress. It's going to have ups and downs. So the Temperance card and the Lovers card is showing up here, along with this Wheel of Fortune, where you're building something beautiful, but it is taking time to develop. So give yourself that compassion and that grace, and give yourself the grace to make mistakes. It's okay if you don't get everything perfectly right on the first attempt. So for example, like maybe you moved to a different part of the country. Maybe you're living in an apartment, and it turns out that, this isn't the best living situation, but it doesn't mean you need to move back home. Like maybe it just means, okay, I need a new landlord, or I need a new roommate, I need a different roommate, whatever that may be. So that's what I'm seeing so far. With the Temperance and the Lovers card showing up, that's also this really beautiful energy where I do think you are supported by your guides. You have a sharpened intuition when it comes to receiving messages from your higher self. And so pay attention to that, deepen that connection. Spend time doing things that you really love doing. So if you're in a job that can be kind of demanding, make sure you take time to just be just like relax, or just do a hobby that brings out kind of like the whole, that engages you in all the ways, that's something that like brings out the side of you that normally doesn't show up at work. It's sort of this like I want to say work-life balance, but I think it's more than that. It's like doing things you care about, and doing things that really move you deeply, that like resonate with you spiritually and emotionally. So sometimes that could mean like a spiritual practice. It could mean like, if you need to observe Sunday as a religious day, like it might be that, or it might be, practicing meditation practicing Buddhist meditation, Buddhist chants. Like, there's so many different ways you can interpret what I'm saying. But a spiritual practice could be very helpful for you, because it would also give you like it would give you the right mindset to approach each new day, because you know it is a lot to handle, a lot of changes at once. So just remember to give yourself that grace and kindness. Wow, we have the 10 of Cups here. Beautiful energy showing up. So I think in a lot of ways you did get what you wanted. Like, I think maybe you feel like you're in a more supportive community, or maybe you were able to move closer to home to be closer to family. Maybe you moved to have some stability in your life so that you could start a family. But 10 of Cups is showing, you know, a lot of love and a lot of different kinds of loving people in your life. People who bring joy and pleasure into your life in different ways. So maybe you have a supportive friend circle, or maybe you have a hobby that, you know, the people who are part of your hobby are really interesting to you and they really inspire you. So this could be, you know, a number of things. We have the Tower card, which I'm going to put right here. Interesting. And I'm going to go ahead and take 2 cards here. We have the Queen of Pentacles. We have the Hanged Man. And I'll take this one too. We have the 3 of Swords. Okay. So I'm getting a maternal energy here. I don't know if you have like a mother or grandmother figure or an aunt in your life. I'm getting a sense of someone in your life is showing up, maternal energy, and the relationship with them is kind of difficult, kind of challenging. I don't quite see why or how. But with the Tower and the Hanged Man, the Hanged Person, it's almost like you're trying to keep the peace, maybe. Maybe you're trying to... It's almost like walking on eggshells around this person, because you sense that they have... Either they have an explosive temper, or you feel like they're holding a lot in, and you're just like... You feel like they're going to blow up at any second. And so you try to hold things in, because you also don't want to like disturb their mental stability. With the 3 of Swords, this relationship with this other person is quite painful. If it's not a maternal figure, it could be... Who is this Queen of Pentacles? Judgment. Okay. I mean, honestly, it could be you. It could be like you're experiencing some, maybe even a health matter that makes your, like, it's like your body may be unpredictable day to day. Like, maybe you have chronic pain, and, you know, if there's a Monday comes around and you have a flare-up, you know, it kind of like makes you bedridden all day. Like, maybe it's a situation like that where you feel like you can't quite it's almost like you can't quite move freely because you're afraid that it will upset or hurt something. Now, that could be physical in your body, or that could be like in a relationship. I'm really not getting much more details than that. But with the Judgment card, I think you're going to experience kind of like this aha moment. You're going to experience a big revelation in regards to the source of this discomfort, the source of this pain, and how you can address it. Like, what is the resolution? What is the response that's needed? I think you're trying to be very mature here, and you're trying to be the better person. Like, if it's another person who's sort of causing you pain, I feel like you're not vindictive, and you're not trying to like get any vengeance. You just want the situation to resolve so that both of you can move on, so that both of you can heal. With the 3 of Swords, there very, very well may be a a separation or a sense of betrayal here as well. I'm sorry to hear that. If that is the case and you're very upset to have this validation, I just want you to know that, you know, the reason why your guides are bringing it up is because they want the best for you. And so having, you know, with the Temperance and the Lovers, right, it's like knowing that you're supported, knowing that you can have the best possible life on earth if you just trust in yourself and make wise choices for yourself, make wise choices for your highest good. That's what your guides are trying to show you here, okay? We have the Queen of Swords. We have the Five of Wands. And we have the Queen of Wands. Yeah, so 3 queens are showing up here. So there could very well be kind of a draining situation between a couple of people in your vicinity. It might seem like, I feel like some people are maybe like in your ear and they're trying to boss you around. They're trying to like tell you like, oh, you know, it's like they're trying to give you life advice, but you're sort of like judging them, and you're kind of being like, you're the last person to give me life advice. That may apply to just a couple of you. Wow, we have the 3 of Pentacles, and I feel like with the 3 queens, it's kind of 3 of Swords, 3 queens. Yeah, I feel like they're, you know, maybe you're even in a relationship with someone and like their mother is kind of interfering, or like their older sister's kind of interfering. It could even be a friendship, like it doesn't have to be romantic. Maybe you're in a friendship and this friend has another friend that's interfering, but I'm getting a sense that, you know, your judgment is really what's key here. And honestly, the queens are also showing up as supportive energy. So even though there could be other people that are making your life uncomfortable right now, you can also draw upon the supportive energy here to be very wise and to be very confident in yourself and to have very strong personal boundaries, because the Queen is not crossed. The Queen is not one to be crossed. And that's the kind of energy you should be bringing into your life right now. You are a queen, you know? What was I just thinking? It's like, when people tell you the truth of who they are, believe them the first time, something like that. If someone is mistreating you, even in a very minor way, well, it's never minor, but like sometimes people try to justify the crappy treatment of you, you know, because they try to basically put you down, you know. They try to act superior, and because they feel superior, they think they can treat you a certain way. But because you're a queen, you can put them in their place, and you can be like, look, I don't deserve that. I'm not going to put up with it, and take me or leave it. You know, take it or leave it. Like, this is who I am. These are my boundaries, and respect my boundaries, or we are done here. You know, it's really that, kind of assertiveness that I think a certain situation is calling for in your life. Now, the Tower and the Hangman showed up, so I feel like you might very well be somebody who has a bit of trouble standing up for yourself. Like, maybe you just try so hard to avoid confrontation. But you can't go through life always avoiding confrontation, right? There are going to be moments when you have to speak up and you have to advocate for yourself and stand up for yourself. It's not easy, but the more often you do it, the easier it becomes. So we have the Princess of Pentacles, which showed up with the Knight of Pentacles here. I might have said this is the Princess of Pentacles earlier, but it's okay. We've got Pentacles energy. Yeah, we've got Queen, Page, Knight, 9 of Pentacles. Yeah, so it's also helpful to know that you're getting very valuable life experience right now. So So if you're in a difficult situation, especially if it's like a job, right, or if maybe it is your apartment, it's having a landlord who isn't respecting your rights as a tenant, whatever experience you're having now, the way you confront it, the way you handle it is going to be very valuable for you for the rest of your life. It's valuable experience. We have the Death card. Death is showing up here. So when I talked about, having personal boundaries, that also makes me think of the Death card, because to me the Death card is about like points of no return. So it's almost like even giving someone an option, like you can either move forward with me on terms that are fair, or I'm gonna leave you behind. So I mentioned early on that you've left a situation behind because it was unfulfilling, or you made the right decision for yourself. With the Death card and now the Knight of Cups here, I think you're really internalizing this, like it's becoming, it's transforming who you are. That's what I'm trying to say. Having been through what you've been through, having gone through this big change and making this big decision for yourself, it's made you a better person, and it's made you somebody who takes life more, is more in charge of your life. You have more autonomy, you have more sovereignty in your life, you have more confidence in making life choices. With the Knight of Cups, I think it is impacting how you approach relationships, especially new relationships, like how you approach dating. I think that you're sort of like graduated into this new way of dating where you're no longer going to put up with just bad behavior. It could be that. Another thing is that maybe you've realized that, I'm someone who gets so committed. In the past I've been a person who dates and then gets so wrapped up in someone from the first few dates. I'm gonna be more of a mingler. The Knight of Cups is somebody who can enjoy different types of company. You're not necessarily committed to one person. So that might be something new you're bringing into your life, is this idea that like, maybe I could have multiple soulmates. Maybe I'm not meant to be like just clinging to one person, for the rest of my life. Like the Knight of Cups is opening your heart up to more variety, not just in people, but even in the types of enjoyment that's in your life. So it could be like new hobbies, it could be new ways of creative expression, it could be a number of things. We have the universe here. Beautiful. I love this depiction of the world. So it's called the universe, but in other decks it's known as the world card, and it's a really beautiful image here, especially because with the Knight of Cups, it's that rainbow spectrum is there, right, in both cards. So I feel like you've almost like gone through an existential crisis. Maybe you're going through one now, and I know that's not easy, but there's a message here that seeing your life in very stark terms is helping you tap into it's helping you identify what truly brings you joy, what truly brings love into your life. Not just love of other people, not just relationships, but just love in all forms. Like what is it you prefer in your life? Like what kind of what kind of neighborhood do you want to live in? What kind of hobbies do you enjoy? What do you like to spend your money on? Do you want to save up your money for a vacation, a cruise? Do you want to save it up for a road trip? How do you like to go on vacation? It's like all these personal preferences are coming up to your consciousness, because you're realizing like, I can make these choices for myself. I don't need to wait for someone else's approval. I don't need to wait for someone else's opinion. I know what I like. That's the beautiful thing that's coming into your life right now, because of the huge change you've experienced, and the huge, the courageous shift you experienced by going after what is in your highest good. By making this change, you are a better person for it, is what I'm trying to explain. Look at that, the Magician card. Everything I said, there it is. You are making those choices for yourself now. You don't need somebody else to make that choice for you. You don't need someone else to influence the choice for you. Maybe it's even your choice of a romantic partner, your choice of a lover. You don't care anymore what your girlfriends or your peer group, what your peers are saying, what they're judging, or how they might be judgy. You don't care about it. It doesn't matter. What matters is what you love, who you love. What matters is that there is love in your life. You see where I'm going with that? Four of Pentacles. Yeah, you're holding on. You're not letting something go very easily just because someone might not approve of it. We have the Four of Swords. Yes, exactly what I said about sovereignty. It's like you are self-contained is kind of how I'm seeing that. Like, you can date people, but you're okay being on your own as well. You're okay with your solitude. You can have a big friend circle, or maybe you just left a friendship circle, that maybe you left a social circle that was like a big group of people that, they were fun for a while, but it just became unfulfilling. Here you are now in the Four of Swords. Here you are on your own. You left the friend group, but you're doing just fine. Like, you don't need that type of like shallow, that's shallow socializing. You don't need it. We have the Ten of Swords. I think there are moments, like I said, as existential crisis, existential dread. You might have moments where you question everything. You have the Five of Cups. You might have moments where you regret what happened or think about the past, and you have, maybe you have regrets. But here's the Ten of Pentacles. Here's the Moon. Here's the Seven of Wands. I mean, to me, that is a clear message. What it's saying is, what it's saying to me is like, the best things in life are worth fighting for. They don't come easy. Having a life in which you are fulfilled in all the ways, okay, in which you are, you have a fulfilling job, you have a fulfilling relationship or partnership, you have you have a community that looks out for each other. Having a great life where, it's the best, you're living your best possible life. That's what I'm trying to say. Living your best possible life does not come without a fight. You gotta fight for it. It's not so much that you have to work hard for it. First, you gotta just fight for it. You gotta stand up for it. You gotta choose to pursue it. Sometimes we give up before we even give ourselves a chance. Sometimes we give up on that perfect life before we even give ourselves a chance to pursue it. So, there's this advice of don't just don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your dream. With the Moon card, there's a lot that's unknown, and there's a lot of uncertainty, and it's kind of rattled you, and maybe it's made you feel like, it's made you question, like, is this worth it? Or, you're downing yourself or your life choices. Just remember that those feelings come and go. It's like the tide, it ebbs and it flows. We can't experience pure bliss every moment of our existence, nor do we experience pure despair or pure sadness every moment of our existence. Being alive is about emotional ebbs and flows. You're going to have peak experiences where you're riding high and everything feels great. And then you're going to have some lulls, and you're going to have, you know, maybe even some bad moods where you have a bad week and you're not feeling it. And that's okay. Give yourself that grace to take it day by day and, you know, not be so hard on yourself. Having a bad day or having a bad week doesn't mean that you ruined your life somehow, you know. It doesn't mean you made a false turn somewhere. It doesn't have to mean that. We have the moth, mystery, concealment, and illusion. Wow. And this is a very mystical. So the moth is, to me, the moth also talks about intuition and mysticism and, you know, being drawn to the deeper mysteries of life. So I do feel like there's this message here of you might question, you might have self-doubts because maybe you feel like you don't have the appearance of a successful person. Maybe you don't make like a high income, or maybe you don't have a nice house. Maybe you don't have nice clothes, or, you know, you don't like look a certain way. You don't have an appearance of. So I want you to know that there's a message here that's saying like, this is illusion, right? This idea that your worth is based on an appearance of worth. That's illusion, and you can see the illusion in other people's lives. You can evaluate the people who are truly happy in your life, and chances are they're not happy because they have money, or they're not happy because they have a nice house. You know, look around at the people and that you know who are truly happy. I can guarantee you that a pattern will emerge. It's going to be, are there fulfilling relationships? It's going to be, do they have a calling? Are they living out their calling? Are they living out their passions? Do they have good health? You know, are they able to, do they have mobility? Or, and I'm not trying to say that being like having a disability means that you're unhappy. What I'm trying to say is that we can take for granted something, right? And so happiness can be people who appreciate, who they have a respect, a self-respect, and they appreciate their whatever health they have. They appreciate whatever time they have on this planet, you know. Maybe, so I don't want to go into the weeds there, but I hope you get what I'm saying, that you might have some dark nights of the soul where, you know, you feel like, oh, you know, I didn't succeed in this way because my parents told me that I was supposed to be a doctor and I'm not a doctor. You know, it could be something like that, right? I want to pull a couple more cards for you because I feel like I'm locked into your energy, and you know, I think you need a little bit more messages about what's coming up in the near future and what can you look forward to, because, you know, you've got some exciting stuff at play here with this Magician card. You've got opportunities to, again, you know, exercise more control over your life, make choices that are more exciting and better for you. But I'm going to try to get a little more detail on that. So let's see, what else? What is coming up for this group, please? Near future. What can they look forward to? Near future. Yeah, I feel like maybe you came from a community that put a lot of, they put a lot of stock on, like, material things, and you kind of saw through that. So we have the Knight of Pentacles. This is another Knight of Pentacles, talking about being down to earth, being grounded, talking about someone who doesn't, again, you're not into being, you don't care about shallow stuff. You want substance. You want substance. You don't want flash in the pan trends. You want substance. You want success that is real, not success that you can just inflate, you know? You don't want you see it on social media all the time. People will want to present their lives as if everything's put together and perfect. And it's like, we all know that that's like a photo. You know, what does that even mean? A great photo. Anyone can take a great photo of something. You know, you can take a great photo of a fancy house and claim that it's yours, right? Or a private jet, whatever it is. So you see through it. You have the artist. You have the Seven of Wands again. And you have the Judgment again. Wow. And you have the Death again. Okay. So there's this confirmation of things I said earlier in this reading. But you know, with the artist, again, it goes back to, you're able, because you made a really big choice for yourself that was really important to you, because you did that and you had that courage to fight for it, to pursue it, because you pursued it, you are better for it. You have evolved into somebody who is building your destiny. You're pursuing your destiny. With the Judgment card, that purpose, that life purpose, is more clear to you now. You know your calling. You know what you're called to do. You may be somebody who is an artist, who does something creative, who brings beautiful creations into being. Okay, you may have this creative bent, or this like wonderful talent and intuition for manifesting beauty in the world, okay, however you interpret that. We also have the Death card again, and actually I love this deck. I want to pull out a couple more, you know, which is all to say, you only have one life to live, you know. 10 of Pentacles, living your best life. It's here, it's available to you. You just have to fight for it. You just have to keep putting yourself forward, keep moving forward. We have Wisdom. Your guides are showing up. They're showing up in signs and synchronicities. They're showing up in, wow, good fortune, the 4-leaf clover. That might actually be a lucky symbol for you. Maybe when you see the 4-leaf clover around, you know that your guides are trying to talk to you. Maybe the owl as well could be a sign for you. What else do we have? We have blind. Yeah, you know, you might not, it might be a little bit past your comfort zone to think about like signs and synchronicities, but if you're not somebody who's explored, you know, the like alchemy and stuff, that could be worth your exploration. We have Humility. Okay, interesting energy coming through, because there's like the Sun and then Humility. Oh, I get it. So you're not aware of your strengths, is what I'm seeing. You may not be aware of just how talented you are, and so you're blind to your talents. You're a little bit too humble. There's a message here, especially with the Judgment card. You know, let your freak flag fly. Like what are you hiding? Stop hiding yourself away. You're an amazing being. Let it all out. Let it hang out. There's no shame in who you are, you know? There's no shame in who you are. And we have Crafty. I'll leave it at that. So yeah, this is telling me like you could be someone who's artistic, who makes beautiful creations. You craft beautiful creations. But Crafty is also about being intelligent, right? It's about being keen, very, very sharp instinct, very sharp, just very clever, right? You have a lot of cleverness. So use that cleverness in navigating whatever tricky situations are arising in your life. If you are in a difficult situation, like again, maybe you have a bad landlord, maybe you know, maybe there's a workplace issue coming up, use that craftiness. And it goes back to the Seven of Wands too. It's talking about, you know, giving them a fight. Don't let them get off the hook. You know? That's the other thing. This is about like shenanigans. So you are smart enough, intelligent enough, clever enough to deal with people who think they can get one over on you. You know? Put them in their place. Anyone who's trying a shenanigan on you, trying to be shady, trying to you know, do something like illegal or illicit or so, you know, just basically trying to take advantage of you, exploit you, put them in their place. Seven of Wands. This is about defense. This is about boundaries, okay? Don't let them cross that boundary. Show them what's what. But yeah, that is, I went longer than I planned, but you know, I hope this resonated with you. If you're still watching this video, click the like button. I'd appreciate that. Or, you know, chime in the comments. I forgot to mention it. I feel like I'm mentioning it too late in the video now, but this was actually meant to be one of my videos that I put out where I offer a free card pull. So if you want to get a free card pull, just say anything in the comments. Anything at all in the comments. As long as it's not rude to me, I'll respond with a free card pull. Okay, I'll pull out the card and I will write to you in the comments and let you know what card came out. And then if tarot is something you practice, you'll know what that means. You'll interpret it yourself. Or maybe you should get into tarot. Maybe it's something that would interest you. But thank you so much for being here. I really wish you the best of luck. Take care.